We have an open vented crawl space with a 6mm plastic. The plastic is not sealed, so the condensation that forms underneath is able to come into the air in the crawl space. Looks like there may have been a perimeter drain that goes into a sump pump. So that's nice. There is debris on the wood, and there is some colonization. So we do have mold activity here. The crawl space was treated with aftershock numerous times, but after 3 days the mold will just come back, so it's kind of laughing at us putting in the aftershock. And then we see it on the main beam, we see it on the air ducts, mold that is. Here's a spot where insulation is missing, and it shows the challenges of having manufactured joists, this type of joist, set at 24-inch centers. It creates a big space, and so the insulation that they put in here tends to fall down, and if the insulation is not in contact with the floor, then it's not doing anything. So for the most part, this insulation is not doing anything for warming your floor or keeping your floor from getting cold during the winter. Deeper into the crawl space, we start to see established mold on the manufactured rafters. This is a lot of mold, and difficult to clean because you have so many different surfaces. And we have a green mold, we have a white mold. It's telling us that we have different moisture levels in the crawl space at different times. One of the challenges of moving to a closed crawl space, which will take care of the humidity in the mold, is that you have gas lines in here, and we want to be sure that you have a meter that acts as an alarm. So if there is a gas leak, you'll know about it. Here is a frog in your crawl space. So you know this crawl space gets wet and has insects, because that's a big leopard frog. It's pretty happy. So numerous loads of drying have occurred, and all that lint has been busy collecting down here, creating a fire hazard and a place where mold grows, and a great place for a Halloween party. Here we have mold growth on the band joists, as well as extensive growth on the manufactured joists, pretty much everywhere. There's our sump pump, and underneath is water, underneath this moisture barrier, kind of stuck in all of this muck. Interesting that the closer we get to the sump pump, the wetter it is. The grade of the crawl space is such that it leads all the water down to this low spot, and the sump pump is currently dry. However, because of the density of the soil, water is just being trapped and it's not moving out of here, which is not such a bad problem, except that the moisture barrier is not sealed, so whatever moisture is created underneath, and you can see all the condensation, it just sneaks on out and then creates an environment where we start to get white rot mold on the wood, because this area is so moist. And then again, the insulation is not pushed up against the floor, so it's completely ineffective. Best practice for this crawl space would be to deal with the mold and the cause of the mold, which is elevated humidity from a couple of different sources. So removing all this dysfunctional insulation so you can get to all of the exposed wood and brush off the mold, and then put an encapsulant product on the wood so the mold doesn't come back, in conjunction with putting in a liner, and that liner would run down the wall and across the crawl space so that you wouldn't have insulation in the floor that's dysfunctional. You'd have a barrier on the ground and on the walls, so any heat loss from the air ducts then stays trapped in the crawl space. So it will make a significant difference on energy efficiency and comfort with this floor being warmer during the winter. And I'd put in more drainage in this area here to help get this water into the sump pump. And then close all the foundation vents and put in a dehumidifier or a crawl space supply vent, and then this crawl space would be energy efficient, dry, and guaranteed not to have any mold.